Investors take note. More government spending won't save the economy. In fact, just the opposite. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead. We get the insights you need to better navigate this turbulent world. Democrats are ready to push through a near $2 trillion spending bill that will supposedly rev up an economy recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. This legislation, however, will do more harm than good for two big reasons. Reason one, government spending doesn't stimulate the economy. That's because politicians get the money in one of two ways, by taxes or by borrowing. In other words, they are taking what already exists and redistributing it. They aren't creating anything new. If lots of spending led to long-term growth and prosperity, the Soviet Union would have won the Cold War. France would be an economic colossus more powerful than the U.S. Instead, it has been a laggard for decades thanks to bloated budgets and excessive taxes. Ever since the Great Depression of the 1930s, it has been wholly writ among all too many economists that economies prosper when politicians shovel out lots of cash. Actual, real-world experience shows that to be false time and time again. The spending bills passed last year were responding to the sudden COVID-19 caused lockdowns. They weren't stimulus measures, but rather emergency lifelines. Reason two, more government spending means more borrowing by Uncle Sam, and this will lead to a nasty outbreak of price inflation that will batter stocks and smother the economy. Washington borrows money by selling bonds. If the Federal Reserve buys bonds, it pays for them by creating money out of thin air. That's what the Fed has been doing since the pandemic, and this will lead to an outbreak of inflation. Excessive money printing is what happened during the great inflation of the 1970s that saw consumer prices soar and interest rates reach a high of 21.5% and home mortgages 18%. What makes this new spending bill especially unnecessary is that Washington still hasn't spent some $1 trillion from the previous legislation. That's right, $1 trillion. Trillion with a T. That's enough to pay for more and needed help for hard-hit businesses like restaurants, movie theaters, hotels, and airlines, and more for distributing vaccines and other pandemic-related expenses. Given political realities, there will be a new bill, but it should limit itself to another round of individual checks. This act would be a one-shot and would not distort the labor markets. I'm Steve Forbes. Thank you for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions, and I look forward to being with you soon again.